Oh, yeah, Fractal Bitcoin. But this is the Bitcoin panel. And look who's here. Jerry Loves Freedom and Jor. Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we're here. We're just going to hang out for an hour. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Paul. Oh, yeah. Nick, let's effing go. Letha, good afternoon. Bailey, welcome. A lot of people here. We're talking Bitcoin. We're looking at the price. Actually, I should have brought this up, but let's do quick introductions. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? We'll start with Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Sure. As you guys can see, I'm Jerry Loves Freedom, and I have a small YouTube channel, and I talk a lot about politics and Bitcoin. And I just pick up a phone, talk a little shit, and been in Bitcoin for almost 4 years, since February 2021, almost through my first cycle, a couple months short. And I love Bitcoin, love my country, and I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Yeah, Jerry Loves Freedom YouTube channel. I love it. I love how you pretty much every video, I don't know how you do this. You're literally wearing like a new shirt. It's like an awesome, like a meme shirt, and you show it, and it's just like, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. The boys are back in town.
It's all of us, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, by the way, in the chat, if you could let us know, like, the audio levels, if someone is too low or too high, just please, it really helps us. So, Jor, let's get into it. You're from 88 SATS Radio. That's your channel. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been doing it for about a year now. All of a sudden, I'm a YouTube guy. I don't know how this happened or when it happened, but I just started a channel one day because I figured that there's people out there who needed some help. I had 3 or 4 calls in a matter of weeks of people who got scammed. So people who were not hacked, but scammed. They clicked the wrong link, or they sent money to somebody they shouldn't have. Oh. And so I figured I might as well just get ahead of this instead of playing defense. So I wanted to go on, I started a channel. I was going to do a 10 or 15 minute video every morning. And I wanted to do it at 8 a.m. on my time so I could get up early and nobody would be in the chat. But it slowly evolved into 2-hour shows with a bunch of people in the chat. So it's good. I'm an accountant in my past life before finding Bitcoin. And so I kind of have the financial background, but I never learned about money until Bitcoin. So that's what fascinated me most, is like I spent so much time, energy. My dad was in the banking system, and I was way out to lunch in terms of how everything worked. So here I am.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was just last night we were had a local Bitcoin meetup, and these guys who are estate planners came in, and they're also Bitcoiners, and they also help people plan their Bitcoin estate and everything. And I'm just thinking, like, they're probably one of the only estate planners in town that even knows about Bitcoin, let alone offers services like that, right? So it's still pretty normal to not, for traditional people, not to really be into Bitcoin, right?
Oh, you should have heard me when I first kind of started going down the rabbit hole to bring it up with my bosses. They looked at me like I had 10 heads. It was, for smart, intelligent financial people, they are very much behind the curve. And I don't know what it is. I don't really get it myself, but I just think everybody's so busy doing their own thing, worrying about their own stuff. There's a lot of stuff that they have to keep up on in their world in terms of all the tax changes and stuff like that. So plus kids, plus, everything. Everybody's just so busy. So it's hard for people to find the time to go down the rabbit hole. So unfortunately I did, and now I cannot escape it.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
So Jerry, what have you been, I know, Jerry, you talk about the political landscape a lot too. But really I love the way you end your videos, because it's always about Bitcoin and saving for the future. But you talk a lot about politics as well, but like but just in terms of Bitcoin and stuff, like how since Trump got elected, we literally went from 70K to 99K. So how have you been feeling, man?
I've been feeling great about that, man. But first of all, I got to say something. I got to say this. This is so. I can curse, right?
Well, we'll try to.
I won't. I just got to say this, man. This is so damn cool right now. Okay, I cannot listen. I live in Las Vegas, as you guys know, right? And I'll answer your question in a second. So I'm out and about. I see celebrities probably. I kid you not, maybe twice, 3 times a month, sometimes once a week, something like that. But when you're on something like this, because you two are on my recommended favorite YouTubers on my channel. So for me to be sitting here sandwiched in between you two, right? Watching YouTube, because I watch you guys every day. I'm just like, what the hell am I doing here? Right?
Oh my goodness.
And I'm on and it's funny because I go on some of your shows and I'll type a comment in because I'm just watching. I'm just watching. I type a comment in because I can't catch George's lives all the time because I think I'm 3 hours behind you, I think.
2, I think.
2, okay. So I don't get up that early most of the time. So when I catch him, he's already done it. But every once, like on the East Coast, when I was over there, I hit him up or something like that. And he'd be like, oh, Jerry. And then I did on your show. You're like, oh, Jerry. And I'm just like, what? Like, I'm just, so I just got to say, this is cool as hell to be on there with 2 of my favorite YouTubers. And it's just, I appreciate it.
Well, you know what, Jerry? Don't sell yourself short, man. I love watching your videos too. So it's we're just average people who like Bitcoin. So that's it.
It's beautiful.
I appreciate that. But back to what you're asking me about Trump. First of all, I am so happy. I'm trying not to curse, guys. I'm so happy, man, that we won. We won. Even George, he's in Canada. He won too. You know what I mean? Obviously, we got to get Trudeau out of there. But he is.
Love the dance.
My God. But for Trump to win, and again, I'm going to say this. I don't like to speak things into existence, but it's like I feel like it's the calm before the storm. Like everything's just going too damn good right now. It's just like everything's perfect. Howard Lutnick got hired for the secretary commissioned with the tariffs and all that stuff. We got all these different appointments. Vivek and Elon. I'm just like, yeah, this is great, but Trump don't go outside, and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying. I can't really say what I want to say. But there's definitely a Trump pump. I don't think it's priced in yet what Trump is going to do in the first 120 days, maybe to the summer with the SBR. That's going to be our new acronym, the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. And I'm just excited. And hopefully, I'm looking at this thing now, hopefully we can call ourselves the 100K gang. Because if we hit 100 with us on the live stream together, we are the 100K gang. From now on.
Let's go.
That's my thoughts on that.
Officially. I mean, I've been watching it last couple of days here, obviously pretty close as it sneaks up to 100. But I was really hoping it wouldn't hit 100 before we went live. So I'm glad that we still got the shot at it.
Yeah, and I have it right here, ready to go. So if it gets close, the chat's already letting me know, like, we're getting close. So we'll keep that there.
Why do you guys think it's doing that? It's like it's 100 and it's just like, because we got up to 99,000. What is it? 740?
No, 99,860.
860. Okay. Let me see. Because I was looking at Clark Moody. What do you guys look at?
I use CoinGecko.
CoinGecko. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just watch Coinbase.
Clark Moody says 99,770. So whatever you use, it's all different.
Right. I'm refitting my screen. But wait, so Jory, you're on East Coast time?
Nope, I'm Central.
Oh, Central. Got it. Central. Okay, I'm Mountain, and Jerry, you switch.
He's West Coast.
Pacific, yeah. But I travel a lot, so.
Oh, it's Arizona that switches. I forgot. Sorry.
No. Arizona never switches. It always stays the same.
Right. By never switching, it sometimes it's Pacific, sometimes it's Mountain. All right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, have you guys looked at the Bitcoin news today? Anything big happening? I was looking at some stories.
I haven't seen anything today. Chris, I wait for you guys to give me the news, and then I tell it on my channel, pretend like I know something.
Right.
You tell me.
My Fridays on the show, I usually do no agenda, so I just fly by the seat of my pants and wait for the chat to tell me what's going on.
So I have a question. Do you guys have a local Bitcoin meetup that you attend? Jor, you want to start?
I didn't. I actually went to my first Bitcoin meetup. I keep moving my mouse here on the comments. Like I want to put them up because I'm so used to doing it on my show, but it won't let me on here.
That's funny.
So no, I went to my first Bitcoin meetup on earlier this month. It was actually in a city called Regina, which is about 3.5 hours away from me. And it was awesome. There was about 30 people there. I did a little keynote presentation. And after the thing, they asked me to be part of their Regina Bitcoin Council. So I'm an official member now of their council, and they meet every month or every couple months. So I'm going to definitely be going back there quite often. But I live in a very small town here. Like I'm talking small, like probably the town has 300 people in it. And probably where I live has maybe 50 people all year round. So
yeah, that's tiny. Wow. But that's cool, man. Oh, that's awesome. See, Bitcoiners everywhere, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Jerry sees more in Vegas than I would.
Yeah, we do have a meetup here. Unfortunately, I haven't gone yet. Sadly, I should go, but I'm just so busy. I work a lot, man.
You're
You know what I
meeting
mean?
people every day though with your job.
Yeah. I got 2 pills in my hand. I got 3 pills. I got an orange pill, I got a green pill, and I got a red, white, and blue pill for America.
What's the green?
It's for the money, the fiat currency.
Yeah.
Currency. And I'm like, don't take this one.
What about the purple pill? How come you're not on Noster, Jerry?
I am on Noster.
Oh, are you? Okay.
But I'm not. I got a Impub, but see, you guys are light years ahead of me, man. I gotta hang out with you guys.
What's up, BTC Moon Guy? Yeah,
Hey,
and this is
real quick. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
So me and Chris were talking offline, and George, you weren't here yet, but we were talking about something, Chris. Can I bring it up or no? You want me to talk about it offline?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, bring it up. Sure.
Well, you ever seen the All-in-One podcast, George?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I was recently on Robin Sierra's show, as you guys were, both of you guys were, that was mind blowing seeing you guys on Robin. I'm like, wow. And so a few months back, he was telling me that, he really liked me. He connected. He's like, man, I really like you. We got a good, connection or whatever. And some people in the comments were telling him the same thing. And he's like, maybe we should do something. So we had a meeting a few days after that. And he basically said, I don't have time to set it up. He said, but if I could join in on something, and we talked about it, maybe like the all-in-one thing. And I was thinking, what good combination would that be for YouTubers? And I thought about it yesterday when we started talking about doing this. And I'm like, I think even if Robin doesn't have time to do it, I think we'd be a good team.
So Robin wants in on it, or he want
he
one of the guys?
I got in before he did the Michael Saylor interview. I was like one interview before that or something like that. And I'm sure he's much busier now. But if he would, that'd be cool. But if not, I think we could do something.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Rajat too. I did a show with Rajat a couple weeks ago. He'd be a really good guy to have on.
Yeah, that would be good. That would definitely be good. He's busy too, though.
I love the concept of the all-in show. I don't really like them a whole lot. I think there's one guy that that's a Trump guy that I like. What's his name? Dave? No, not Dave. Who's the big Trump guy on the All In podcast? Yeah.
I don't know their names. I just watch it sometimes every once in a
while. There's one of the guys on there that I don't necessarily love too much, but anyways, I think they spend too much time talking about like the fiat world, the stock market. I think we need a show that's specifically focused on Bitcoin and Bitcoin related stuff. So I'd be definitely in for that.
Cool. Me too.
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, I was telling you, Jerry, that I was doing Friday live streams for a while, and I came up with the name, the Bitcoin panel. And I'm like, yeah, if we can do something or just start streaming and just, yeah, whatever works, let's do it. I'm game,
Chris, the host, of course.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Jordan or somebody else, and we can just roundtable it. You know what I mean? Maybe do it once or twice a week. I don't know. How often does All-in-One do it?
I think it's weekly. I don't know for sure, but I think it's weekly.
Okay.
Yeah, weekly is always a good place to start when you start something new, like just same day, same time, and get into a groove. Yeah.
Wrap up the week. Maybe do it Friday at 1.
Yeah. I mean, this time would work for me for sure.
Me too.
So, guys, the Charles Schwab CEO said, "I have not bought crypto, and now I feel silly." The Schwab managers, like, dude, can I get an "I told you so" in the comments, please? Barry's good with once a week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, he is. Is Barry too loud? I don't know. All right. Anyway,
Let us know in the comments if you guys want us to do that, by the way. You guys want to see us on a team together or what? Just us three? Somebody else? What you think?
yeah, let us know in the chat. Yeah, thank you, Martial Law. Told you so. And yeah, thanks everybody for being here. We're just hanging out. And oh, here we go. We got a lot of them. Let's go. Great idea, men, to do a group show similar to Quant Brothers. Barry's voice level's good. Thank you. See, I love this.
I didn't even share this to Nostr yet. Just let me get this out there on the Nostr machine.
Okay. Yeah, we're actually on zap.stream. We're streaming there. I don't usually stream there, but I did today.
Zapstream's been buggy for me.
Thank you, Sharper Than Sword, for watching us. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like this is just going to happen a lot more, right? Even people who were against Bitcoin they're gonna come around, right? Because at some point they're gonna feel silly. That's what this guy said. I feel silly.
Gotta stop using that crypto word though.
I know.
That's the weird thing that I'm struggling with right now is that it seems like there's a whole lot of people who are getting into the crypto side of things, but like nothing's really happening in the crypto space. Like there's none of the altcoins are really moving, but even like Trump's team, they were talking about a crypto, whatever task force or a crypto department. And Jason Lowry has been in the mix for that, or he put his hand up to say that he would do that. But I don't know how much crypto would be involved in there. I don't know if they're, talking about Bitcoin, like the new World Liberty coin. I think Trump's been meeting with the back guys. And what was the other one I saw too? Oh, Trump Media was going to start dealing in crypto too. So I mean, for the amount of the conversation around crypto, the altcoins aren't doing anything right now.
Yeah, Bitcoin's like at a 60% dominance right now, I think. Last time I checked.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take the mainstream people. It might take them a whole cycle to realize that Bitcoin is where it's at and that crypto is like, right? Because it takes time, right, to learn.
Yeah, Chris, how long you been in and how did you get in?
I started producing Laura Shin's show Unchained in May 2016, but I didn't actually purchase my first Bitcoin until September 2018. Ooh. So it was at 6,500 and then immediately went down to like the 3,000 range, but I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, it's been a while. I've been around.
Jor?
I got in I started in crypto myself too. I started with, I had Litecoin. I had a lot of Doge. I made a lot of money off of Doge. Like there was two zeros behind the decimal place when I started buying Doge. Swapped it though for Bitcoin pretty early or something else. And then Theta was a big one for me too. I got a lot of Theta. And then slowly after learning, when I first got into it, it was, crypto was the cool thing to do. I mean, there was a couple of people who were just talking about Bitcoin, but it wasn't as like crypto versus Bitcoin at the time. It was just like crypto. And it took me a while to get there. But once I saw the difference between Bitcoin and crypto, that's when everything really changed for me. That's when I decided to leave my job. That's when I realized that there was much more to this than just a currency. And it would have been probably 2020. I sold my rental house in the city that I was living in and bought Bitcoin, but I bought it at like the worst possible time. It was like $65,000. So if I just would have waited another 2 months, I probably would have had double or triple the amount of Bitcoin that I have now. Mm-hmm. But it was still the right move. And if anybody out there is thinking about selling their rental house for Bitcoin, do it at any price. Even though I regretted it for 2 years, it was still the play looking back on it now.
Yeah, because you can't time everything perfectly. So
No.
Jerry,
We all
Jerry,
do.
what about you?
Yeah, so I was my channel. If you go back and watch the beginning videos, maybe first, I don't know, 100 videos or something like that. Almost got 1,000 videos now. Jeez, golly. Anyway, I talk too much. I was into gold and silver. And have you guys ever watched gold and silver videos, the precious metal stacker videos? No. Okay, so if you watch them, they have a camera and they look down at the gold and silver. They never show their face. They just show
Oh, I've
their
never
hands.
seen those. No.
Okay, they just show their hands. I was doing that in the beginning because I thought, oh, I got to do that. I can't show my face, right? But then I was living in Rochester, New York, and then after a couple months, I started stacking gold and silver in the summer of 2020 when the scamdemic was going on. Sorry, could I say that on the show?
Yeah.
And so I moved to Vegas a couple of months later, and I started going in and out of the coin shops. Like I was everywhere, like literally, and I was making videos all the time. And then I started getting recognized locally around the areas, and that people would come in from out of town because I live in Las Vegas, and they'd be like, "Oh, is Jerry here? It's whatever." And then I'd be somewhere, and this is when I was hiding my face, and they're like, "Hey, Jerry, what's up?" Walk up to me, what the fuck? I'm like, first of all, it's stupid. It's not show my. So I said, forget it. So I started showing my face. But in the background, some of the people that I looked up to were talking about cryptos and Bitcoin or whatever. And I said, you know what? Let me stop this. Let me look at this. So I stopped making videos for like 2 months and really started focusing on crypto just to see what it was all about, diving into it. And then I made my first purchase of crypto on February 24th, 2020. I bought Bitcoin, I bought Litecoin, I bought Ethereum and something else, because with the precious metal world, it's gold, silver, platinum, right? So I was like, oh, okay, Bitcoin is gold, Ethereum silver, and Ethereum
Litecoin silver.
Litecoin silver, and Ethereum's platinum. I got it. I got the crypto. So still my base layer was my precious metals. So a couple of times in my first couple of months, I sold Bitcoin when Bitcoin went up, quote unquote, and precious metals went down. Like, oh, I'm gonna sell this crap. I'm gonna buy some more real money, and I did that. And then once I started, again, you get the price of what you deserve. After more and more hours of deep diving and studying, I said, oh shoot. So I sold all my crap coins, put them into Bitcoin, and then slowly but surely I started selling off gold. Slowly I started selling off the silver that wasn't really that important to me, sold my platinum. And eventually in October of 2023, I sold all the rest of my metals, the stuff that, I'm an old guy, man. So I love that physical. I sold and I put it all into Satoshis. Didn't look back since.
It really is a journey, and it's so if you're listening, wherever you are in the journey is fine. If you're still an S coiner, it's okay. You're a gambler, it's okay. And you're learning. And you might get burned, but it's good to get burned, right? At least
Have to. It's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
You got to touch.
I remember I was using the MetaMask Chrome plugin to have a wallet. Like with MetaMask is a wallet. There was another one, Phantom Wallet, for some other coin, and I just got a pop up on my MetaMask wallet. This is years ago, before I was Bitcoin only, and it just gave pop-ups, and I was reading it, and the pop-up has all this, even like almost looks like it has computer code in there, and I'm like, okay, I'll just click OK, because normally you just click OK. So I clicked OK, another one OK, and then after I clicked a few more, I realized, I'm like, wait a second, what's happening? And I looked, and a bunch of my coins were gone. It was like a hacker somehow hacked in.
Oh no!
And I just was like clicking OK. It wasn't a lot. It was like, $100, $200. It wasn't major, but that was it. Like that, once that happens to you, it ain't gonna happen again. I'll tell you that right now. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, man. Got to put that Bitcoin in cold storage, man. Bitcoin only.
What a chat we got going on here! Holy cow! Lots of familiar faces in there. Good to see.
We're combining. The stars are aligning. We're combining our strengths. I'm already thinking about a name for the channel. We're gonna make a separate channel and call it something. Because if we hit 100K, gang, we're gonna be 100K, gang. We gotta be. Oh, look
Yeah,
at that!
100K.
I
Look at
think
that.
we got to just stay on all night until we hit 100K. I think that's the plan. I got a couple beers waiting here, so
Paul with the
I'm prepared.
20. Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Paul's here, my brother. What's up? So I do.
Real quick. By the way, thank you for doing that for him, Paul. I gotta say this. Chris is criminally, okay? I'm gonna say this, guys, criminally underpaid. You guys gotta support Chris, man. He does so much work for us. Because one day, if he just said, I don't want to do this no more, we'd be screwed. He gives us the news every day. He's got good charts. He's got good everything. And I remember that one video you made, Chris. It made me cry, man. Remember that one video? You're like, oh, I'm trying, but blah blah blah. I'm just like, damn, we gotta help him out. So, and this goes for everybody. You got a YouTuber you like out there, share his video, zap him some sats, hit the like button, and just support him, man. Because we got to get rid of this little legacy media. That's why MSDNC is dying and stuff like that. And we got to prop up guys like Jordan, Chris, man, for real.
Thank you, Jerry, and ditto for your guys' channels, and supporting indie creators is great. So thank you, everyone who's here. Seriously, you really don't know how much you are appreciated, but you really are, and it makes a huge difference. A small thing that you can do makes a huge difference to the creator.
Absolutely.
It's true. And it doesn't have to be monetary either. The nice thing is we have Zapstream, we have Noster. But I mean, some of the things that have kept me going the last year, because we haven't been at 98K for very long. It's been there's been some downs and some highs, but there's a lot of comments that I see every day, and there's some bad ones, but they're few and far between. But the good ones who say thanks and keep doing what you're doing, and those are the ones that I'm like, okay, well, my work here, regardless of how much value is coming in, I know that it's going to come back at some point. So because people care, and until people have to give a shit before you're going to do anything substantial. So that's where everything starts, and then everything else follows from there. So absolutely agree. I think that and the one thing I've noticed with Bitcoiners, and the reason I really leaned in on my channel is because as you go along in Bitcoin, you kind of get further away from where people are when they start. And even myself, I was in Bitcoin for a couple of years, and I was listening to guys like NVK, like Odell, like some of the guys who have been around for a while, and I love them. Like, they've done so much for Bitcoin, but there was times where I wanted to press pause and say, what the hell are you talking about? Like, they just kind of gloss over things as if we know what they're talking about. But the reality is that everybody is at a different part. It is a journey, and even though, I've said things 20 times on my channel before, even in 20 days, but I just really want to drive it home for the people, because it's not the same people every day, and everybody's at a different part, and it takes 5-10 times to hear something before it really clicks in your head. So that's something that I've made a point of doing on my channel. And it is the channels like ours that are the ones doing that, leaning in on things that most people, don't understand yet.
Yeah, going forward for the next year, as more normies come to the space, like, channels like ours, we can really help those people, which is really cool. And I just love keeping it simple, because I'm not a technical guy, and I haven't, even Bitcoin, I can't say I've studied it like Michael Saylor, but I mean, I've imbibed enough to know from a global level, right? Like, from a zoomed out level, I feel comfortable, and that's where new people have to start. They have to start from the zoomed out level. You can't start telling them about seed words and you got to do this and that. So yeah, I love it. I love the fact that we can help so many people is really cool. It's more than cool.
You got to start from the bottom up. Absolutely.
So I was doing a live stream with these guys. And the topic was spirituality, and we started doing it like probably about once a month. And my friend Mike was the guy organizing it, and it was on his platform, and there was 4 of us total, 4 of us on the thing, and we didn't have a name either, getting back to bringing up a name. And so again, it was streams about spirituality and meditation and body, mind, spirit, and I came up with the name. I'm just going to say it's the greatest name of a podcast ever, a spiritual podcast. Mike and the meat suits. Guys, please. Anyway, at first they laughed. They're like, "Oh, you're great." No. And then next month I mentioned it again, and then the third month they're like, "You know what? That's a good name." Pretty good. Anyway,
That's a good.
That is a great name. I like the meat suit because it really gives you a good, it gives you a good visual of what we actually are. There's something inside here that, some would say it lives on, some would disagree, but I think that there's something inside here that carries on and thinks back to what you've been through, and the decisions you make day to day will affect where it goes in the future. But it is just the meat suit that kind of carries you around, and that's what we see. That's what we interact with, and it's a good way to describe it. I love that name, that phrase.
Mm. Yeah, how much?
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Like Jerry, do you get into like the metaphysical aspects of Bitcoin? Like, Max Kaiser, he's making crazy statements like Bitcoin is God and stuff like that. But I do have like this transcendent feel with Bitcoin. Do you feel anything like that, Jerry?
Yeah, a little bit. I have a very open mind to things, because once you think you know everything, it's just, you got to be open minded about stuff. So when I hear different things like what you just said and what Max Kaiser just says, and what's my boy name? Oliver Velez says that Bitcoin is not an invention; it's a discovery. And I never heard that before. I was like, wow, he basically just discovered, what was already there, and he just put it together and boom, you know what I mean? And what people talk about on the spiritual level and stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely open minded to that stuff for sure.
So I wanted to show you guys this thing. Like, I also want to know your thoughts about, governments getting into Bitcoin, because, like, a lot of Bitcoin maxis, they don't like the fact that governments are starting to buy Bitcoin. They don't like the fact that corporations are buying Bitcoin, and I get it, because they think Bitcoin is for the people, and these corporations and governments are going to ruin it. Okay. My stance is always, you can't stop them anyway. And I think maybe I'm a little naive, but I think Bitcoin can handle itself. I think Bitcoin is the one adopting these governments, not the other way around. So what do you, in general, before we get to the thing I want to show you, what do you think about that? Like governments and Bitcoin becoming this massive thing, and some of these Bitcoin maxis are like, this isn't what Bitcoin is supposed to be and all that. What do you guys think?
I think Bitcoin's playing out exactly how it was supposed to. I wouldn't consider myself an expert in terms of the Satoshi emails and the message boards and stuff like that. But what I gathered from it was that they kind of knew that this was going to happen. They knew that governments were going to be involved. They knew that banks would exist. They knew that there would be layer 2s, layer 3s built on top of Bitcoin. And if you've ever sent a Bitcoin transaction on layer 1 before, you've felt how powerful that is. And in 5 years from now, I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of people who have that ability anymore, which is unfortunate. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many layers there are. It doesn't matter how many altcoins there are, how many fiat currencies there are. Everything's going to be repriced by Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is just a protocol. It doesn't have an opinion on anything. It can't say no or yes to anybody. It's completely permissionless. And so if governments wants to be involved, then they're going to be involved. And the ones who adopted early, the ones who have the foresight and the vision to front run the most influential country in the planet, are going to be around. The ones who wait for the US to adopt it and hope to catch up, we might have more SATS than some governments in 10 years from now. And that's the reality of it, because we've never had an asset like Bitcoin before with a truly fixed supply. And so it doesn't matter. Bitcoin is a protocol. Anybody can use it. Anybody can adopt it. And that's kind of what we're seeing play out right now.
I got to stop letting him go first, man. I don't know. 100%. The adoption for Bitcoin, like you said, is going just like it was supposed to do. When you see these plan Bs and all these charts, I'm like, bro, you have no idea what's about to happen. You didn't price in the SBR. You didn't price in the Trump pump. You didn't price in all these countries. It's just not priced in. And like he said, this is why I do these Satoshi Saturday videos, because people have no idea. I just put this on my community thing. My grandson in 2044, I said, can you pull up my thing or no?
Yeah, you can actually. Oh, what do you want me to pull up?
On my channel, I put a community note on there.
All right, yeah.
Thing.
Yep. Give me 1 sec. I'll get it. Yep.
Okay. And basically, nobody knows how powerful these Satoshis are going to be in the future. I'm obsessed with them, man. Like I do make a Satoshi Saturday every day, but I mean every Saturday I can make one every day if I want to. This people have no idea what 1,000 Satoshis is going to do in the future. Like George just said, we're going us or people maybe even earlier than us mostly are going to have more Satoshis than like Max Kaiser. How many freaking Satoshis he got? Now read that. Go down. Or the read more.
Oh yeah.
2044, my grandson. Grandpa, did you really get 1,000 Satoshi for $1? As a matter of fact, I did. Nobody's going to believe it. Right? What is 1,000 Satoshis going to do? So these people that are saying, oh, the governments are in it, and this, that, and the third, how do you think it's going to be? We're going to have a Bitcoin standard or be the global currency? How? Without the government. This is why, and people don't like it when I say this, but politics are important. You know, I know, Chris, that you're, you know, I know how you are about that stuff and stuff like that. And I've had a lot of Bitcoiners that I watched in the beginning to remain nameless that I watched. They say, oh, governments don't matter. It's orange versus green. Who cares about that? But as soon as something good happens with the politics or Trump, they're like, oh, look what happened. I'm just like, well, I've been talking about this for 3 years, man. Right? So again, the governments being involved, are they clowns? Of course they are. Do we like them? No. Do we know they're idiots? Yes. Are they evil? Yes. But in order for us to get to where we need to go, hey, Bitcoin's for everybody, good and evil, and we all got to adopt it. So we need the government to do it. Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, to clarify real quick what you mentioned, talked about my political ideas, and yes, I'm an anarcho-capitalist, but I'm a realist too. I know we have a government, and I know it's not going anywhere, and I know within what, as we deal with what we have to deal with it the best way we can, and it does matter. So I definitely agree with all that, for sure. Yeah, so, all right, well, this is what I wanted to show you was this. The Senator Cynthia Lummis unveils her Bitcoin Act of 2024, a 7-point plan, including purchasing 200,000 Bitcoin annually for 5 years to establish a $1 million Bitcoin strategic reserve. I actually haven't read through this yet, and a lot of this stuff, the details, I don't like this. I don't even really want to read this because this is probably going to change a lot before they actually do it, right?
It's about to say that.
Yeah. So
I think that's bearish. The 200K Bitcoin a year, I think that's absolutely bearish. I think once that, because again, 5 years is a long time from now, and them just saying, oh, we're just going to get 200,000. That's not going to be enough for the U.S. government. Once Russia, China, these other G7 countries and the G20 countries start getting in, and us being the superpower and us be able to not only print money, but Cynthia Lummis was on, I think she was on CNBC, basically saying we don't have to print money to buy it. She said we could take the gold reserves, the gold certificates. You know, Elon's planning to take $2 trillion off the budget because again, the United States has a lot of problems with the deficit, but the major problem is we have a spending problem. That is our problem. We spend too much money. And with Elon and Vivek in there, both Bitcoiners, say what you will about Elon calling it the freaking Doge, which I like it, but I can't stand it. But you know, I love Elon. I love him. But I saw the Doge, I'm just like, Elon, you're such a troll. Oh my God, it was brilliant. Right? Because I fell out with him when he did the Doge stuff on Saturday Night Live and all that. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Right? But I think, honestly, we're going to be doing more than 200,000 a year. I think we're going to get a couple of million Bitcoin, in my personal opinion.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can get to 200,000 Bitcoin per year. I think that they're going to try, but where's the Bitcoin coming from? Like, as it stands today, before any countries are involved, there's like 2 million Bitcoin that we're aware of that are available on exchanges. And, that's one country. And then you look at MicroStrategy, who's putting 42 billion in the next 3 years. That's one corporation and that's one country. You know how many countries are out there? Do you know how many companies are out there and people are out there? I think it's a lofty goal. I think they're going to try their best. I have no doubt about it. I think Trump's going to fast track it because he's a businessman. He knows what's going on here. He I think it was part of his play to get elected, to get the Bitcoiners on his team. But I think that he knows now that he's announced it, that there's other countries who are front running the US, and he doesn't want to wait 6 months for them to do that. I think it'll be very early on in his presidency where he's going to say, executive order, buy as much as we can. Don't wait 5 years to do it. Just get as much as we can right now. And, talk to Riot, talk to CleanSpark, talk to Marathon, and start making deals with these miners where we're going to subsidize you. And in return, you're going to give us an inflow of your Bitcoin every month or every year. And I just don't think it's as easy as buying 200K. Like, Bitcoin's different than anything else before, right? You could do that with gold, or you could do that with real estate and Apple stock, but you can't do that with Bitcoin. There's only so much Bitcoin that's available. But I know what you're saying, Jerry. Like, it makes sense that Trump would want to take it to the next level if America wants to remain a superpower. I think everything's relative. So if they want 200,000, but there's only, let's say everything really tightens up and there's only 20,000 available for, a couple months, they'll get the main part of that because they're going to have more ability to than anybody else on earth. But I just don't know where the Bitcoin's going to come from. That's my issue.
I agree. And that's what traditional finance people, I think intellectually they understand finite supply. I think in reality, they're not ready for it. They don't understand it. I definitely want to say hi to Garga. Hi, Garga. Hello from Florence, Italy. Thank you for the great content on your shows. Here in Italy is very hard. Inflation is killing us. Bitcoin's the only way. I'm stacking SATS for my kids. Grazie mille. Dude. Garga. That's the way right there.
Can I push back on that? Can I get us some more views and I can argue with Jor?
Oh yeah.
So here's my take on that, right? I agree. In theory, it's just like, where's all the Bitcoin coming from? You guys got to look at the volume that's traded every day, right? Because what we do as Bitcoiners, because we're so like, oh my God, it's finite. And it is true. It is finite. There's only going to be, what is it? Maybe 17 million, something like that, with Satoshi's, his million, 1.1. Then you got the 5 million gone. So, but there's always Bitcoin passed back and forth. It's not all about the exchanges and the OTC Bitcoin. It's what can you get the Bitcoin price for? Like, for instance, us three, I don't think there's a price right now that they can offer us to sell it. But there are people that do have a price that will sell, unfortunately, right? So I think because, and again, this doesn't go for everybody. I'm talking about specifically the United States of America, because we're the richest and the biggest economy in the world. I think they will be able to buy it because once they run out of the gold and the gold certificates and stuff like that, and we trim the deficit and then we trim the spending, I think they can come up and turn on the money printer. And I've always said this: whoever prints money first and buys Bitcoin as a nation will win. So there's always going to be Bitcoin for sale. Is there going to be? Will we run out of supply on exchanges? Yes. Will we run out of buyers? Yes. But once you bid the price up, then more buyers are going to come in. So I think they still can do it. But like you said, Joe, I agree with you. You got to do it quicker than 200,000, 200,000. You got to get it in there. And that's going to push the price up. But again, we're talking about the United States of America that has basically pretty much unlimited money. Unlimited.
Yeah.
That's my take on that, Joe.
Yeah. Fair take. Right now the price, 99, 150.
Oh, we're inching back up.
What's that?
We're inching back up.
Yeah, that doesn't look bad. So these are actually hourly candles. So you can see this morning we dipped down, but now we're back up and we're just hanging right there. Yeah. It always takes time. I don't know. This crossing 100K has been a very interesting phenomena for me in Bitcoin because there was never a level like this before, right? Like this is such a psychological level.
$1 would have probably been the last time.
Right? Or right, $1 or maybe
100.
Maybe 10,000. Do you think 10,000 was like?
It's always 10x. It's $1, but then you got $10. Then you got 100, then 1,000, then 10,000. And once we hit 100, because now we're doing 70, 80. That's all. Once we hit 100, nobody gets us about 110 or 120, right? It's going to be 200 or 250 or, but then I think, honestly, even in between that, people are going to say 100,000. I think personally, and I know you guys agree, the time it took almost 16 years to get from 0 to 100 is going to be much shorter to get from 100 to a million. Much shorter. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, but that makes sense to me. It really does. Especially with the global adoption that's happening. I mean, this is unprecedented adoption. This is even Bitcoiners we've never done this. We're going into something we've never done. So who knows?
Yeah, the million's the number. That's the number.
That's what I was going to say. That's my theory on this whole thing, is that 100K is going to be big. It's going to get a lot of people's attention. It's going to bring a lot of retail in. But when we get to a million, this is the key thing about the million, where when we hit a million, that means that 1 sat is equal to 1 cent. And that's psychologically, that's going to be a big thing for people, because right now people see Bitcoin at 98,000 and they're like, well, I don't have $98 in my bank account. So I'm just going to continue living my life, going to work, doing what I can. I don't have any time to study Bitcoin or worry about Bitcoin. It's completely out of their minds. But as soon as we cross that chasm of 1 million and it's 1 sat equals 1 cent, then it goes from, okay, well, I can buy 1 sat with 1 cent. And then it goes to 2 cents for 1 sat, and then 5 cents for 1 sat. And then nobody really knows what the price of Bitcoin is. We start pricing things in sats. And that's where everything changes. When we cross that line where nobody knows what the price of Bitcoin is anymore, and we're measuring sats, it could go from 1 cent to 10 cents, which doesn't seem like much to the eye, but like behind the scenes, that just jumped Bitcoin up like $10 million or whatever it is, maybe $1 million. What would it be? No, it'd be $10 million. So like 1 cent to 10 cents per sat jumps Bitcoin up $10 million. That's where like things go absolutely parabolic, where nobody knows what's going on anymore. And people are just fighting to get 1 sat or to get sats, right?
Absolutely. I talked about that. I don't forget what video I did on Satoshi Saturday. It's all about that unit bias. You know what I mean? When people just get rid of that, and like George has said, when they understand that, oh, wow, I can buy, because now what are they? They got, oh, I can buy this for 30 cents, this little cryptocurrency or this or that. But once people, that's why I'm doing these Satoshi Saturdays like a madman, because people got to understand Bitcoin is just an abstract thing. It's the marketing name, right? Everything is going to be priced in Satoshis. Nobody can afford Bitcoin. I don't have 91,000 or 99,000 laying around. Maybe you guys do. I don't, right? Even in America, people don't. And even somebody's a millionaire, that's 10% of their freaking net worth, and they probably don't have that laying around liquid. So it's all about getting rid of that unit bias of these little cryptocurrencies, and know that we got to educate these people. Say, hey, we can break it up in little things and get as many units as you can in Satoshis. Absolutely, Jor.
You know, you brought up something, Jerry, that's interesting. This idea that some people view investment opportunities, they'll look at Bitcoin now and say, oh, it's $99,000. Oh, that's expensive. And then they'll look at a 30-cent S coin and be like, oh, I can afford that. Like, I never understood that. Because I guess people just look at the number, but that's not what you're looking at, right?
It's all about the marketing, Chris. When you look on CNBC and these Fox News and all that, what do they show? Bitcoin's at 68,000. Bitcoin's at 42,000. That's all they show. They don't even know the word Satoshi. These people in the producer room, they don't even know it. So we as little YouTubers right now, we have to brand Satoshis. We have to market Satoshis, because that's the future. Because again, it's all about, and I tell people this all the time, the price is important. It's going to get people in, but it's all about the adoption, right? And we have to brand and market Satoshis, period.
Speaking of adoption, look at these savages on Nostr. Sorry. Wait, what the? Sorry. Look at these savages zapping sats like maniacs.
Oh, yeah.
Spaceman, Nick, thank you guys. Man, this is great. I already decided, I didn't say anything, but I'm going to go through, because all these sats are coming to me, but I'm going to definitely spread them out to you guys as well. So
No. This is back pay for you, Chris. You keep yours, dude.
Look at, in real time, Sergio killing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude, this is back pay, man. Absolutely not, bro.
Oh man. What is this? R.I.P.
Sergio, thank you very much for that, bro.
Sergio's the man.
Yeah, let's party like it's 99,999. Doc coming through.
Dude, we got to be the 100K gang, man. I'm just looking. Before we started, I'm looking at the time because I get up this morning. I'm like, please don't be 90. So I thought for sure it's gonna hit 100 when I woke up. I was like, okay, good. I said it is going to do it when we're doing on this podcast, and we are the 100K gang after that.
Yeah.
Period.
I'd rather be the million gang or the billion
We'll be
gang,
both.
or
We'll just change it every couple of months.
I think going back to the SAT cent parity, I think that if you had Bitcoin as a like if it looked like an altcoin where things were measured in SATs versus like Dogecoin, like, you know, instead of pricing it in Bitcoin at 98, if it was a price in SATs, I honestly think that there'd be a lot more people who would be interested in it. But unfortunately, because of where it is in relation to the price, like it doesn't really make sense to say I'm going to pay 0.01 of a cent to get a SAT. Like we're not there where it makes sense to the human brain yet. But when we get to that million and you can see that one SAT is 1 cent, that's when things are just going to explode. It's just going to be like a penny stock, except there's actually something there, right?
Yes.
That's when things go crazy.
Yeah. And I tell my viewers this all the time, but I'm going to tell your viewers this too. Because we have to stay, even though we've been in Bitcoin and we've been doing thousands of hours and we live and breathe this stuff, like George said, we got to stick to the basics, right? The reason why Michael Jordan and Tim Duncan were great basketball players, I know you like hockey, George, but I'm a basketball guy. They called Tim Duncan Mr. Fundamentals, right? Because he just did the basic stuff. What you do as Bitcoiners is wherever you got your Bitcoin, whether it's on your Sparrow wallet, whether it's on the Moon wallet, wherever you got it, set it to Satoshis. Take it off of Bitcoin, right? Because in our minds, when you think 0.0000, you're like, I don't have nothing. This is nothing. No, switch that thing and put it on Satoshis. Every time I do that to people, kid you not, when I literally show it to them, the newbies, their eyes go, I got 50,000. Yes. And I go, listen, this is the second part. Look at them like dollars because they're going to be better than dollars. No way. Yes. And now they're like, oh my God, I can spend $10. And well, now you can only get, what is it, 10,000 Satoshis now. But back then it was like, you know, whatever. But you got to look at it like that. Look at your net worth and put your net worth in Satoshis and set it there. Forget that Bitcoin stuff. That 0.000. No. You got 50,000. You got 100,000. And if you get to a million, I say this all the time. You cook them with fish grease, man. You ever cook with fish grease? That's pretty hot.
Yeah, that really makes sense. The 1 sat per 1 cent, because like it just clicks in people's minds. Like it's just immediately understood. And yeah,
they don't have to do any math. That's the key. Even right now, when people are trying to figure out, you know, I'm spending $200, how much of a Bitcoin am I getting? What the hell is that?
We got an animal.
Let's see, George. Let's see. Let's go.
I don't know what that is. It's either a huge fox. I don't know if oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a deer. I thought it was a big fox. It's a deer.
Arnie's not out there, is he?
No, Arnie's right behind me, I think.
Don't let Arnie see that.
No, he looks like he's struggling though, or something.
I was hoping for Justin Trudeau, like coming to your house, like.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I better watch what I say here, especially after a beer.
Right in the stream I did before this one, somebody was saying that a YouTuber got their channel deleted. I guess the person said they were talking politics on YouTube and they got their channel deleted. And I don't like. I know there's more to the story, but
that's the stuff I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to go off on your channel or anything like that. It's just this is what keeps me like not getting a lot of views or subscribers, because I always say a lot of the magic words. Because free speech ain't free, man. It's not. And I'm sick and tired of saying, oh, I can't say this. And I live in America. I can't say something. I'm not saying that this thing is going to go off or this person is going to get hurt. I'm just speaking my mind. Freedom of speech. If we lose the First Amendment,
Yeah,
We
it's
lose
over.
everything. Yeah.
It's over,
Thank
Johnny.
God for Elon Musk. I know we're Nostr people here, and I know we don't like Twitter. I'm sorry, guys, X. But he is the one. Now we're going to go to Nostr in a few years, but he is the one that won us the election. Period. If it wasn't for X and Elon Musk and actually having, because I watched a thing on CNN the other day. CNN showed between the 2020 and the 24 election, they showed it was like percentage of Democrats versus Republicans. It was like 60 something percent Democrats and 20 something percent Republicans or something like that. But now when Elon bought it, it was like 47%, 47%. Now it's evenly, and there was nothing, the Republicans could say what they want, or the free people could say what they want. So we gotta ever say what we want, man. It's crazy. That's why I call my channel Jerry Loves Freedom. You can enter Chris Loves Freedom, Jor Loves Freedom. We all love freedom, right? And again, people think, oh, you're just a Bitcoiner. No. I don't love freedom because I love Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin because I love freedom. Period. Sorry.
Oh, I love it, Jerry. I love it. Yeah. And look, everyone, I don't know, the whole Elon thing, I don't like love him and I don't hate him. Like for me, it's like, okay, if he can do some good things, let him do some good things. He's not perfect. He's not perfect. Neither are you. 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 But you know what's perfect? This song that I'm going to play if we hit 100K, which is called Send It.
Is that a new one?
This is the new one.
Send it.
Send it. Let's go. Oh, it's a banger. We're going to play it at 100K or 99.9.
We're gonna be on all night, right? I don't know how much headphones.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's almost an hour already, but this is Italians are a bunch of brainwashed people. MSN was very effective here. Yeah, same here. Same here. Yeah. That's why this election turning out the way it was so important. The Republicans won everything. There's the Constitution.
Just stick with it. That's all I'm asking.
Exactly. Oh, Paul coming in hot again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Barry was just looking at the chat before Paul did this. Barry was looking at the chat and he said this.
There's no activity, no giggle, no nothing.
Yeah, but it's not true because, look, Garga's there, Sharper Than Sword is there. Look, chat is lit. Barry, come on, man. All right, anyway.
Wow. Can we point out the fact that there's how many people are in the YouTube right now? There's almost more people on Zapstream than there is on YouTube right now.
Right? Yeah. Look at these savages.
I see 28 people over there. Letha zapping, third Ancho zapping, Sergio big zap, Letha big zap.
Holy smokes! 2.1K sats.
Chris, I'm gonna ask for a loan after this.
Dude, this show is gonna go on a Bitcoin reserve system policy or something. Oh yeah. Oh man. See, I love Zap.stream. I streamed on there before, but something happened, guys. When I made that video, it's gotta be 3 weeks ago now. When I made that video and just really got real on the camera and was like, I don't know if I can continue doing this. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And then the whole community came forward and just embraced me. Something changed that day and it's carrying forward now. And it just feels beautiful, man. And it's about us. That's how I feel it. It's not about me, you. It's about us. And this is exactly what Bitcoin does. Brings people together. Right? Guys, it's so beautiful.
Closed mouth don't get fed. Once you open your mouth and said that, because everybody doesn't know what you go through behind the scenes, Chris. Nobody knows what you're going through. Because I was thinking, oh, Chris, I have to come on the show, Fractal Bitcoin. Oh yeah. I said, oh, he's killing it. He's got to be killing it. And then when you did, I was like, huh? Nobody's looking this guy up. I immediately, boom, pulled out my thing, boom. Remember the other day we were doing the live stream. I said, put your QR code up. Let me zap you something, bro. I zap Arnie something too with the little. I don't say it, but I just boom. You know what I mean? Value for value, man.
Yeah, it was Ozon. That was him. He gave he gave the positive energy. Love it, brother.
It's Team Bitcoin. Team Bitcoin. We got 400 million people here. There's nothing else like it on earth. There's no sports team. There's nothing else like the Bitcoin community. And I think that as more and more people start to understand how powerful that is and how much that's going to grow in the coming years, and the only way that we're going to push it forward is by helping each other. And it's Bitcoin basically flips the entire fiat system and the legacy system on its head, everything about it. And that includes things like this, where in the fiat system, you're fighting against each other to climb the ladder, to get this next subscriber. In Bitcoin, everybody's on the same team. If we succeed, if Bitcoin succeeds, we succeed. If we help each other succeed, we want to get our message out in front to as many people as possible. That helps Bitcoin. We're all on Team Bitcoin. And I mean, I can relate to you, Chris. Like for the last couple of years here, YouTube does not pay very well. And if I didn't value SATs like I do in terms of one SAT equals $1, I would be very far in the tank right now. If I had a financial advisor, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing, Jor? But, oh, look at this. We got the plow. Bridge is going to be very happy right now.
We got Team Bitcoin Florence.
We got a,
yeah.
We could just have a live view of the road here. Arnie woke up too. There he is. Hello, Mr. Plow.
Wow.
That's $100 swipe for us. We pay so much in property taxes here, and we still have to pay to get the road cleaned. So anyway, she's got to go for a haircut tomorrow. So she's gonna be pumped. But yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying there before the plow distracted me, we're all on the same team. Like we have to understand that. I think most people do. Most people get that. But it's the absolute truth. If I succeed, Jerry succeeds, Chris succeeds, everybody succeeds. That pumps everybody up. You know, it's not like we're not fighting each other for ground here. Everybody wins. That's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin. It's a scarcity creates abundance, and we're not fighting over things. We're fighting to push this thing forward and get rid of that vampire corrupt system that we've had for 100 years now.
And this idea of we all win, Jor, I love what you just said, man. I love everything you just said. The idea that we all win is so true because guess what? No one can lose. That's the key. You're not late. Even 100 years from now, when whatever it is, someone's going to buy their first Satoshi and they're going to be on the winning team. Oh, it's so good. And thank you, Bailey. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Wait.
Thank you, Bailey.
Oh, forget it.
Oh, forget it. That's right.
Happy birthday, Bailey. Thank you.
Bailey, I hope you get your wish. I hope you get your wish in the next, 12 minutes. That would be nice, but we got to be patient. Got to be humble.
We're sniffing. We're going the right direction right now. I got it on my phone right now.
Okay.
We're heading towards Hyundai pretty fast. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. Yes, we're on Team Bitcoin. And Paul is our team captain, by the way, just so everyone knows. Paul.
I just looked at 99,420.
Daniel over on Zap Stream, Zap 2.1 thousand sats for Fat Zap Friday. That's what I call the Zap Stream every Friday on my show, Fat Zap Friday.
Oh, that's sweet. There it is. I literally put it up as soon as you mentioned it.
And big shout out to Duncan there. Happy birthday tomorrow. Hopefully you get a nice 100K Bitcoin gift. I think once we cross this wall to 100, I think we're going to go up pretty fast from there. People think that it's going to drop when you hit 100. I don't think so. It's going to plow through it. And I hope we get to see it, and I hope we get to hear the song, and I hope we get to. Oh, I said I was going to shotgun a beer if it's happened on the show. I'm going to have to go grab a beer from the garage if that happens. I can't. I'm a man of my word.
There we go. You're right. We're floating up there, right? 99.5. Mm-hmm.
Should we all buy some Bitcoin and pump her up?
Right. We did say the other day, or some people said we're going to smash buy at 100K. I mean, buy the top.
I'm going to smash buy some right now. Not a lot.
Let's go.
I'm buying every hour in the hour, guys. I mean, the endorphins go off in my brain when I see that little every top of the hour, 6 o'clock, boom, 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 every hour.
That's the way to do it, honestly. And one thing I've done here, I don't know how many people are watching from Canada here, but one of the really cool features that ShakePay has on their app, I pay for everything with ShakePay, like groceries, gas, all the business stuff for King Golf I buy through my ShakePay Visa card. And they have this thing called Roundup, where if the price of whatever you're buying is like $5.70, it rounds up. You can set it to $1 roundup, so you'd buy like 30 cents worth of sats with that. You can set it to $2, so it'd be like $1.30 worth of sats, and it just automatically does it without you even knowing about it. I set mine to $3, so every time I buy something with my Visa, it buys $3 worth of Bitcoin on top of that, without even me even knowing about it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
There's the plow again. God bless you.
And again, for the future, that's the thing. These sats right now, you think fast forward, well, definitely 10 years, it's like that little bit of sat on every transaction, it's going to balloon up and be like
100%.
Can I ask you guys a question? Serious question. Do you guys ever think about, because I live in Las Vegas and I see a lot of rich people, right? How they act and what they drive and what they do and stuff like that. The fiat rich people. Do you guys ever think about in 2034, like how your life is going to be? And like, seriously, like I know I see people with their bodyguards and with their whatever and security and stuff like that. Like, you know, not to brag or anything like that, but we're going to be some of the richest people in the world. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. We're not doing it because of that. It just is what it is. You guys ever think about stuff like that? Like how you're going to carry yourself and what you're going to do. And
yeah, no, I haven't really thought of that. I mean, just intellectually a fleeting thought. I've thought of that, but I haven't thought it through. I don't know. Okay, dude.
I only get 35,000
forget it.
sats for this. Not only that.
Wow.
They used to be a hell of a lot more than that for $50 here in Canada.
but now you look back and you look at your Satoshis in cold storage and they're worth a lot more.
Bought.
Oh. Boom.
Sweet.
Have to.
So $50 gave you 30. What was it?
35,000 sats. I mean, still deal of a lifetime, but much less than I would have got a month ago.
Hold on. That's right. Because I'm an idiot. Hold on. Let me see what I get. For 50.
Jerry, I'll answer your question there. I think about that all the time. I do. I think that everything is going to look completely different in a decade. The people who have the wealth now, in terms of the sports teams, the big buildings, the big businesses, everything is going to flip. Everything's going to flip. And the people who are attached to Bitcoin right now, the people who are building their brand, their business in Bitcoin and earning monthly sats flow are going to be the ones who are in those positions right now. And I haven't thought too much about my security, but I do think about it very similar to like a bank. And I've talked about this, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this, but I think it's worth repeating. I think Bitcoiners should be securing their Bitcoin more than a bank, because the banks, because of three reasons. Number one, the banks have insurance. So if they lose money, if somebody robs the bank, they have insurance for that. They can get new money printed. Second one is that banks are looking after other people's money. And the third one is that the banks deal in a completely illusionary currency. Whereas Bitcoiners have no insurance, we're worrying about our own wealth, and we're dealing in the hardest money that's ever existed before. So you think about a bank, you think about the security cameras, the Brinks trucks, the security guards, everything that they have to protect that Bitcoin. That's what people need to be doing with their sats. In above and beyond that. So that's the security part. But I was also thinking today, just kind of going back to what the future is going to look like. People say that, Bitcoin is an IQ test. And I really believe that it is. And I think that it was done by design. Because if you look at the people who were early in Bitcoin, the people who have been putting the time into studying Bitcoin, those are the people who are going to have the influence and the wealth in the future. And I think that was Satoshi designed everything so brilliantly, head to toe, start to finish. Everything about Bitcoin is perfect, almost perfect, as close as you can be to perfect. But I also think that he worked that into it, where the people who take the time, put in the work, learn about it, have the conviction to hold through the highs and lows, those are going to be the people on the other side of this. Those are going to be the people who have the wealth in 50, 100 years from now. And those are the people who you want leading your society, because they are looking at things differently than how we see it right now in terms of cheap products, cheap infrastructure, cheap everything. That's where we're moving away from. And it's the people who are in Bitcoin right now who have put in the work themselves, who have taken on the time to do this, are going to be the ones in the future who are leading this. And when you get back to that proof of work society, that's when everything changes.
I just dropped the mic for you, Jor. That's
Yeah.
And
You
Rick here says,
expect me to talk after that, dude. So go ahead. Sorry.
what will be frustrating in the future will be people saying, how did you know? Or why didn't you tell me? We have been, LOL. And you know what? I'm going to tell you about something right now. This is a channel called 88 SATS Radio, everybody, on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed, head over there and subscribe. That's Jor's channel. And of course, we have Jerry's channel. Jerry Loves Freedom. That's it. And the links are below. So definitely subscribe to these channels. And we'll start keeping track of everything that we're creating every day and all the things we're talking about. And really, oh my God. Sorry, I wasn't sharing my screen. Good job. Good host. There's 88 SATS Radio on YouTube. Hello, here it is. See, this is a picture here. This is a subscribe button. And then this is Jerry's channel, Jerry Loves Freedom. All the links are below. Definitely subscribe and everything. Everyone needs your support, and we need your support, and we're happy to help you. It's, again, we're just one big family. This is so cool.
Yeah, you see my prison picture? That's what that looks like.
Jerry's like,
My wife always says, like, why do you put that picture up? I'm like, hey.
thank you, Dan. Yeah, so, all right, well, look, we've been going for an hour and 11 minutes. We didn't really have a plan, but I think I'm having a great time here.
Over an hour already? Holy shit, it is.
Dude, time goes fast. When you're on a good stream with good energy, it just 3 hours goes by. You're like, excuse me?
I got time. I got time if you guys got time.
I'm game. I want to be 100K gang, man. It's up to y'all, though.
Yeah, I'm good. We'll go at least another 20 minutes for sure. Yeah, I actually, some of my Thanksgiving guests have already arrived. And, but yeah, this is great. Prison photo when Jerry was still doing precious metals. Oh, yeah. All right, hold on. See, now we got to, right? There we go. Jerry, let's go. See, you know those memes when people say like, there will be signs like when knowing how much some Bitcoin someone has, like you might not know, but there will be signs. Jerry's going to be like in a suit and with, like black tie, whatever. Anyway.
Top hat.
Top hat with a cane. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. What's up, Matt? Yeah, we're just having fun. And yeah, look, the price, what I've noticed with Bitcoin is ever since about 90K, we go up to the next significant level, especially 95 and 96, 97. And we go up to it and we hang out and then we come down and then we go up and then even when we go a little above it, then we still come back down and then it takes a little time and then we go. So maybe that's what 100K will be like, right? Maybe
people are selling off. People are in different levels and they just sell off. But back to the thing where we were talking about just a minute ago. I liken this to like, do you remember when the internet first came out and they had all these groups for the internet? They had the little meetups and all that stuff.
Yep.
They don't do that anymore, right? And I think about that. I'm thinking like, how long are we going to do this? Are we going to do it for 5 years? Are we going to do it for 10 years? Because once it gets mainstream, I'm talking like when you walk in the room, 8 out of 10 people have Satoshis. I don't know. When do you guys think that's going to be?
Jor?
I don't know when it's going to be. I know it's going to happen though, because it's something where not everybody's going to want to do it, but people are going to be forced to do it. And I think that the one thing that I always go back to is like, if you look at 1971, where the US went off the gold standard and Nixon came on TV and announced it, And I only know this because my dad worked at a bank for 40 years. And I asked him after discovering Bitcoin and having conversations with him about money and Bitcoin. I said, like, what did you really understand what was happening in 1971 or even after that, where they took the money off the gold standard? And he said, no, like I didn't know what kind of impact that had. And he was a banker. He worked in the bank for 40 years as a GM, CEO. And so I just think back to like that same day where if you look at the charts, like the WTF happened in 1971, where basically everything that we know, everything we measure in society went into the tank after 1971, starting in 1971, when the dollar officially turned into an illusionary currency. So I think that at the time, nobody really knew the implications of that. Yeah, thank you, Chris, right there. So you can go to that website, WTF happened in 1971. You can look at every metric you want to, and you can see how things have decreased since 1971. And I think that when that happened, nobody really knew. I mean, it sounded like probably a bad thing, but nobody really knew. People went back to work. People went back to spending time with their family. Life just went on. And I think that slowly over time since then, life has gotten significantly worse for everybody without them not knowing why. And I think that now with Bitcoin, we're going to start going the other way, where people don't really know that it's Bitcoin doing it, but Bitcoin is going to trickle down in every aspect of society and greatly improve everybody's lives, whether they understand it or not. And, you know, that's the Bitcoin standard that we're moving towards. And I don't expect more than 10% of people to really understand what Bitcoin is, but it's just going to slowly trickle into every aspect of society. And as Jerry said there, you'll walk into a room where everybody has Bitcoin and they won't really know why they have it or the fixed supply of it or how the proof of work protocol works or the mining, anything like that. They'll just have it because it's the only currency that doesn't have a leak in it. So, you know, if they want to stay relevant, they're not going to have a choice to adopt Bitcoin. And it's sad because they're going to have a lot less, obviously, at that time. But it's going to flow down into that format, I guess.
Yeah, those are great points. And I think about it, fast forward 30 years, 40 years, 50 years from now, there's going to be studies done, and it's not going to be hard to do, on what happened in 1971. And they're going to show, see, this was 1971. This is what the government did. This is the nasty effect of it, that all the nasty effects and the harm of the people that lasted 50, 60 years. And then they're going to show, here's where Bitcoin came in. And then here's Bitcoin changing it all around. Like, it's all going to be on a chart one day. Everything you just said, right?
I agree.
Just look at El Salvador. Sorry, go ahead, Jerry.
No, I was just agreeing. Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, look at El Salvador. That people, they cleaned up their crime. That's much safer there. They went from the most dangerous place on the planet to one of the safest places on earth now. And, you know, it's because of Bitcoin, whether the citizens know it, whether anybody else is caring to admit that right now. It all started when they adopted a hard money and they started putting their natural resources. They have a volcano there that's mining them Bitcoin. So I see a world where, you know, that's where we're moving to. We're moving away from the human resources funding the governments. It's going to be going back to natural resources. And if you listen to what Howard Lutnick's been talking about, he did a very good job explaining it on Palm's podcast lately. But he said, like, instead of worrying about the income statement for the US in terms of bringing money in and spending money, focus on the balance sheet. That's what MicroStrategy does too. Focus on the balance sheet. Look at what America has. Look what Canada has for resources. Like, it's worth a lot. We just haven't had any adults in the room who could actually manage these properly. They're all locked up. They're all secret. They're all behind gates. No, use those resources. Start mining Bitcoin. And that deficit that's $36 trillion right now is going to disappear because you're actually putting your resources to work. So that's what I foresee. I see a world where we don't have any income tax anymore because AI and robotics have replaced a lot of jobs and they don't pay tax. But B, because we now have the ability to capture energy from stranded natural resources that we could not do before with Bitcoin mining. And that's what's going to fund the governments. And then you combine that with the Doge, Elon, them cutting some of their spending. And you have a lot more money coming in that's real money. You have much less money going out. And that's how this whole tide shifts.
100%.
Totally. Here's the monthly chart for Paul. Look at that monthly
There
candle.
you go. That's what you want to see.
I mean, look at this. We're up. Oh, wait, hold on. It
looks fake. It literally looks fake.
Yeah, we're up 41% in November.
You know how when you go online and you see those fake charts? Wow.
See, this is why, like, October was good, but this candle, this is what, and it's for everybody. This is when we know. Now we're going, right? Like, since March, we're like, are we going? Are we not going? Well, here's your answer.
We need Saylor to spend that $500 million he's talking about on Bitcoin to blast through the sell wall right now.
Exactly. What's up, Rory? I hope you Canadians will get rid of Castro's son and get back on track.
I want to ask about that so bad, but I know you can't talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I talk about it all the time on my channel. There's conspiracy theories that I go back and forth on whether or not they're accurate or not, but I would say that one is 100% true in terms of Pierre Trudeau not being the father of our prime minister right now. It's not even a question for me.
When's you guys' election?
2025.
Is it every 4 years?
Yeah, but somehow, like, he's been in charge for 9. Our government, our whole rules are just like insane. So I hope that the one thing that I do believe, and regardless of what country you're watching this from or listening in from, like, I believe that what's happening in the US right now in terms of Trump, in terms of the strategic Bitcoin reserve, it's going to have an impact on everybody. It's the cure that's going to spread worldwide, which is Bitcoin. And Trump's going to be the catalyst to it. Trump's going to be the one that really jumpstarts it. But it's going to have an impact on every single country across the globe, because they're no longer going to be slaves to the US or France or whoever it is. Everybody's going to be on their own kind of playing field instead of worrying about what else is going on. Yeah, people talk about the wars. People talk about that. And I believe that too. But everything is going to get better in everybody's life on the world, which is kind of crazy. That's never happened before either.
Yeah, it's a repeat of the post-World War II baby boom in the U.S. from 1945 to 1965, about.
Yeah.
But at least from 1945 and in the 50s, that was like the boom time, the golden age of America, where everybody had a job, everybody had a house and a car, everybody's wife got to stay home and take care of the kids, like things that the progressives, they think, oh, that's whatever. No, that's like amazing, and that's coming back. Like, have you guys, like,
bigger though? It's coming back bigger.
So we're gonna live. It's shaping up, and we're gonna live through this kind of an era. I'm so happy. My God.
Me too, man.
Holy cow!
So excited.
I mean, even if you look back to the 1800s, which is what Rory, I'm from Canada. If you look back to the 1800s in the US, that's when it was very, very prosperous. Like, from what I understand, I'm definitely not an expert in US history and don't claim to be. But if you look at what was happening in that time, there was no income taxes, 0 income taxes. And they actually had to get together because they had so much money in the US that's when they started saying, okay, we have too much money, we have to start giving it to other countries. That's when the Titanic happened. That's when the 1913 Federal Reserve was introduced. That's when the war happened. That's when World War II happened. That's when we went off the gold standard. And that's where we are today. That's kind of how it all played out over 130 years. It takes a long time, but we see the effects of it now.
Jerry is from Vegas.
Yeah.
Let me do it, Jerry. Viva Las Vegas, baby!
You know what's crazy? Not to switch everything up, but you know what's crazy about living here? I've been here 4 years now, right? First of all, story about this. This picture right here is a picture of Las Vegas. I had this at my house in New York State, and I always wanted to live there. And so I tell people that the power of your mind is very, very powerful. I had this picture just up, and I wasn't saying, oh, I want to live in Vegas, but just that being in the background, and I knew I wanted to live here. I got an opportunity that moved, and I kept this picture. So that's powerful. Your mind is so powerful. But anyways, living here in Las Vegas is crazy because this is the spot, right? This is the big trip for everybody. And so I know a lot of people. I was in the military. I'm probably a lot older than you guys. I'm a lot older than George. I don't know if me and you may be around the same age, Chris.
I'm 52. 52.
I'll be 50 in a couple months, January 19th, right before the inauguration. And so living here and having all these different friends and different things, there's always someone coming here every weekend, right? That knows me. And what do they say to me? Oh, let's hang out. Let's go, bro. I'm sitting there going, if I hung out with and some of my subscribers like that, I don't even know their faces. You know, you only see icons or whatever. They're like, oh, I'm coming to Vegas. I'd love to meet you. I met some of them. I took some pictures and all that stuff. But I'm like, I can't meet you guys every single weekend because, you know, I drive for a living. That's my money on the weekend. But I met a few of them and stuff like that. But of course, you guys come out here. And then we got the Bitcoin conference here in Vegas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm very curious to hear what you guys got to say about going to conferences. Because I know you went to Big Block Boom. You're going, right? You're a proponent of that, Chris. Tell me about that, George. Tell me what you guys think of conferences.
So this year I attended BitBlock Boom in Dallas, which is a Bitcoin-only event. Very openly, it says on the website, no S coins, no NFTs, no nothing. And Barry was hold on. Barry had a suggestion for their website. I don't know if they took it, but wait. Oh, I screwed it up. Forget it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, I'm going to play the one for my wife.
Beans, coffee, and biscuit, and a little piece of fat back.
All right, so I went to BitBlock Boom, was awesome, Bitcoin only, great. And I also went to Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville. That was good, but that's bigger. That's like corporate feel. Just a million exhibitors, all kinds of S-Coin, everything's there. And but of course they get the big speakers like Michael Saylor and Trump. So I was wondering if I should go in 2025 to Vegas, and I was kind of thinking no, but I have a feeling if things work out and if other people are going to be there, like if Jerry, for instance, hosts a big in-person meetup or something, I mean, you know, that could be a little magnetic. So yeah, what about you, Jor? Events and stuff.
Kind of my rule for that is you should be through at least one Bitcoin cycle before you go to any conferences. Meetups are a different thing where you can go for free. But I just think the conferences, the block clocks, the stuff that people buy just to be part of the Bitcoin club, I guess you'd say, try to be in the space, just buy Bitcoin. I mean, if you're still at that stage, you haven't been through one cycle yet, you need to be buying SATS. That's it. That should be your number one focus, your number one priority. You should be wearing free t-shirts that you receive from Hosel Rocket in the mail. You should be shopping at Value Village. You should not be buying any coffees ever from any restaurant. And you should not be going into any Bitcoin conferences. But Vegas, Nashville, Jerry, I mean, I might have to go because I've been through one cycle now. So technically, by my own rules, I'm allowed to go to a conference now.
I like it. You guys want to know my thoughts on that?
Please.
Okay, so I agree with the one cycle thing, right? Here's my thoughts on it. This is going to be a little controversial. I'm not saying it's a waste of money, okay? I'm not going to disrespect anybody that's going to go or has been, or you either, Chris. But I feel like because I'm a little older and I've been in a lot of network marketing companies, I've done that a lot of years, and I know what they're for, right? They're to pump you up, to get you going. Like, all these people are against you. It's us against them. You got to get out here and get this Amway going or whatever you're doing, right? And then you go and hit the streets and get you pumped. Listen, man, I was born for Bitcoin. I don't need to be pumped, right? I can literally get in my car and turn on one of my driving apps, and I can listen to it in the car while I'm buying Satoshis every hour on the hour and smash buying and getting all the information. Because I've never been this, oh, I got to meet this person or, oh, I got to meet that person type of thing. I'll meet them. So my rule is this, and maybe we can all do this together. I want to be invited to one of these. If they give me a ticket, say, hey, you got an invite, you come on in, of course I'll go. But to spend,
Thousands.
yeah, it's like, how many Satoshis did that cost me for my grandkids? Just saying, man. So if I get an invite and somebody sees me and go, oh, you're Jerry, you're from, I don't got to be a speaker or nothing, but it says, hey, come on over. Sure, of course.
Yeah, I've heard. So I've been involved in the podcasting space since 2012, and I've been to so many podcasting conferences, and spent a lot of money on that. But I also had a school where I taught podcast production, so it was sort of a business expense to attend. And people would ask me, like, why are you spending $2,000 to fly to Orlando and attend some podcasting event and all this? And is it really worth it? And the answer is, well, it's different for everybody. It depends what goals you have. But I can honestly say, and this goes for the Bitcoin conferences I went to this year as well, I have never went to a conference and then thought afterwards that, oh yeah, that was a bad idea, I should not have gone. I've never thought that. I've always been glad that I went, and it has changed me, and I'm glad I was evolving myself. So yes, it cost money, but I think it was helping me, and I felt good about it. So
I agree with that. And I'm coming from a point, and that's a good point, Chris. I'm coming from a viewpoint of I haven't been there yet, because I know I feel the same way, right? I have not been to any conferences, full disclosure. And I know, and again, I am going back and forth on going to this one, to the Vegas one, because I don't have to pay for a cab. I don't have to pay for hotels and Ubers and all that. I can literally just pay for the ticket. It'll still hurt thinking about it, and sit there, and maybe I can, like George says about his situation with, you want to talk about with the what's it called again? The living in the future. Yeah. You can meet somebody and completely change your life. George talks about that all the time. Maybe I can go to a conference and it changes my life. Who knows? So yeah, I feel you on that, Chris.
yeah. So yeah, Jerry's channel is Jerry Loves Freedom, at Jerry Loves Freedom on YouTube. So youtube.com/at Jerry Loves Freedom. And George's channel is 88 SATS Radio. Same thing, at 88 SATS Radio on YouTube. Let's go. Everyone go give them a follow or go subscribe and all that. Let's build up our communities. Let's see how big we can make this, and let's see how much value we can give, right? Because that's the other thing. Like, the more we grow in the community, and by the way, this is the 3-month candle chart for Paul. Look at these 3-month candles. Oh yeah, let's go. But like, to help each other more, to grow the community, to help, it's all moving that way, and it's really wonderful. It's wonderful to be a part of it, and it's just starting. That's the thing, right? Like, I almost feel like, you know how, like you were saying before, guys like Odell and a bunch of other guys who they've been doing stuff in the space for years. Even the other guy who from the UK who just changed his channel name, I can't, McCormick, Peter McCormick. They've been in it so long, like, and they have so much Bitcoin that they just don't need to. They don't want to spend that time having a YouTube channel and growing a community. Like, they already did it, and now they're moving on to the next step. Whereas people in our scenario, we're like the next wave. We're coming in, and we're like, we need to grow, and we're here to help, and it's great, and that's cool. That's cool that we have the opportunity to help, right?
Yeah, that's the big thing for me that I always keep in mind too, because it's very easy to be like, oh well, this guy has 100,000 subscribers. Why do I only have 2 or 5 or whatever it is? Why am I that much worse than him? No, The only thing missing there within a Bitcoin stack, within a subscriber count, within a network is time. That's it. And you can't fast forward it. You can't shortcut things, especially in Bitcoin. But the only thing missing there is time. And it's easy for us to sit here and wish, I wish Bitcoin was $10 million. What would my life be like? I wish I had 10 Bitcoin. I wish I would have got into Bitcoin earlier. But at the same time, it's like in 10 years from now, you have to put yourself there. And you have to understand that your parents are going to be 10 years older. Your dog's going to be 10 years older. You're going to be 10 years older. So there's no rush. Don't wish on anything for it to come faster than it's already coming. Like, life goes by so fast. So for me, it's like the one thing that they put in the work. That's the beauty of Bitcoin, is the proof of work aspect of it. Those guys have been here for a long time. They put in the work to learn Bitcoin, to grow their channel, to grow their network. And as hard as we're working right now, the only thing missing there is time.
Yeah, it's almost a privilege to be able to help people like this too, right? Like, because some people are better speaking. I know there are probably people watching and listening who doesn't want to get on camera, doesn't want to talk in public and all that. And that's great, because so we each have our own strengths, and we have to just go with it with a good heart, go forward with our strength, and then you can't go wrong, right? In a way, Jerry.
Exactly. And it is proof of work. Time in, get you what you want in the future. And time goes fast, man. Ask me and Chris, right? I mean, remember when we were teenagers? It just goes like that. So I'm not in any rush. So that was well said, Jor.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. What am I trying to say here? There's too many beers here right now. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that, you don't want life to happen any faster. I think that's the key. And if you understand what you're holding, if you're on one path, and going back to like the manifesting stuff, Jerry, with the Vegas picture there, I love that. I'm a huge believer in that. And the people who are in my Living in the Future community there, one thing we do is I try to do this, make a point to do this every month. We watch a video from
Earl Nightingale.
Yes. And if you have the conviction, if you put in the work, if you're consistent, if you know where you're going, then nothing else matters. And I think it's important that we just kind of keep that in mind as we go through this. It's fun to watch the price. It's fun to wish it was this. It's fun to be here. But at the same time, it's like if you're adding value to other people's lives, it's going to come back to you in one way or the other. And that's a law of the universe that nobody can break, even if they wanted to. There's some people who get lucky with a lottery, with something like that short term, but it fades away. And the only way to actually, Earl's big thing is the amount of value that you put in is in direct correlation to the value that you receive. And you cannot break that. That's the number one law of the universe. And so you just got to put in the work. You have to put in the work.
100%.
Yeah, and be patient, and it's beautiful. I often wonder about the younger generation, the kids and stuff, like in an age, like let's say we do enter this sort of baby boom golden age of America for the next 15, 20 years, like real prosperity and moving forward. And it's an issue or it's something we have to deal with of like, how are we going to teach the kids, right? Because, developing fundamentals and good, having a good character and realizing or respect for some sort of a higher power, even if it's within yourself, of course it is in yourself. It's like how to help the younger people rise up in a healthy way, with integrity. You know what I mean? Like, because some people with prosperity, they do the right thing. Other people with prosperity, they just go nuts and they start going nuts, and and then their wealth is gone, right? So like we don't want the kids to get in those habits, which unfortunately these days they are, right? With social media and everything is superficial and it's all about numbers and how many views did my picture get on Instagram? Oh, I'm so sad. But anyway, the younger generations, I always think about how can we teach them and help them more. And it's a tricky question because I mean, arguably, we just have to be the best people we can be, and that's the best we can do for them, right? Instead of trying to knock on doors and I'm here to help, like that. We don't have to go out of our way that much to do it, probably, right? What do you guys think?
I think that the school system itself is completely broken, and I think that a big cause of that is because of the fiat system. And what they've done since 1971. If you go back to 1971 and look at how different the family dynamic was at that time, where you had the guy going to work and the girl staying home. I should say man and woman, not guy and girl, but same idea. And the reason why that doesn't happen anymore is because of the fiat system. Because at that time, you could afford to live off of one salary. You could afford for one person to go to work, whether it's the guy or the girl. They could go to work. They have a perfectly nice house. They have healthy food in the fridge. They can spend more time with their kids. But since that happened, since they started robbing us through fiat, through inflation, everything's more expensive. So you take the mom out of there, you put the kids into school, you put the kids into this all day where they're learning from government indoctrination. And that's what's happened. So I think that, we're heading back to the pendulum swinging back from going on the fiat standard to the Bitcoin standard. And that's going to have an impact on every single person here. I know that there's people within the community here who are already homeschooling their kids because they see the value in that. Instead of the government babysitting and indoctrinating, I think that when Bitcoin really shines through, and Bitcoiners are going to be at a big advantage here for the next decade at least, but people aren't going to have to go to work anymore. They're going to be able to spend time with their kids, to raise them properly, instead of people with purple hair and voting liberal and Democrat teaching their kids, what they teach them in school. So it's a trickle down. Everything is.
Yeah, and it starts with the broken money, like you said. And these kids that are getting not educated but indoctrinated into this system that is just completely broken, corrupted, and evil, it's not good. And again, going back to his, like you said with the chart in 1971, everything was messed up. It's been like that our whole lives. And I didn't even know it till a couple of years ago, right?
Crazy. It's crazy that they managed to keep it under wraps that long.
Exactly. And when Richard Nixon, he was a really good president. He just adopted this system, right? So I don't want to, crap on him. But he came on a Sunday on August 15th. Remember that show Bonanza, Chris? Remember the show?
Yeah.
You might be too young for that, Joe. I don't know.
I just remember the clip when it cut off and it switched to him. Yeah.
Yeah, he just came on, and I asked my dad about that. My dad saw that. And I asked him what he thought about it. And the way they worded it, it made it sound like it was a good thing.
Yes.
Right? If you go back, and I've done many videos on this, it was just like, oh, we're just going to temporarily, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, after that, like you said, slowly went down. And then in 2008, when they sped it up with the money printing and bailed those banks out, when we, the great Satoshi started Bitcoin and the Bitcoin white paper, and everything started catching up. Now, when we are converting these people to Bitcoin, we're not just saying buy Bitcoin. We're saying, look, there's a problem. And here is the problem. Because no one knows there's a problem. You ask 99 people out of 100, they'll give you this answer when you say, what is inflation? You either say the prices go up, it has to do that, or it's about supply and demand. Oh, COVID did it, or whatever. Or I have a friend that says, well, I like inflation because I get paid more. My wages go up. I'm like, they have no idea the compound effect that's working against them. They have no idea, right? They don't know that there's a leak in the boat. They have no idea there's money that every time it's printed, the money that's in your account is getting diluted and losing power. They have no idea. So that's why when we put them on Bitcoin, not only do we teach them about the problem, but we focus on the solution.
I just had a thought. Remember when right after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, didn't the Japanese president or something say something like, oh, I fear we have awakened the sleeping giant? I think the financial crises and the leading up to Bitcoin being created, including 2008 crisis, I think those crises awoke the sleeping giant of Satoshi, and he was like, that's it. Now we're going to...
exactly what he did. Absolutely. He started with all the 30-something years before that. We're up to 40-something years now of all those cryptocurrencies are trying to, the gold coin and all those things. He just took all the bad parts out of it, put all the good things that worked, and he solved the double spend problem, the Byzantine generals problem. He solved it. You know. Now, did he solve it? Did he discover it? However you want to look at it. But again, how do you come up with a solution? You got to understand the problem. And a lot of people think that Satoshi, oh, maybe he didn't understand money. Yeah, he did. He understands cryptography and money and the money system. When people ask, how did he come up with the 21 million? He really literally said, well, I came up with the 21 million by basically looking out into the future and saying, what is it going to be? How much is it going to, what's the global money going to be? And he came up with that. But again, you got to see the problem. Just like in the 2008, that was one tier of it. But 2020 woke up a lot of people. It woke me up. When you got people getting their businesses shut down because the government says, no, you can't open up because you got to put a mask on and stand 6 feet away, and there's a problem. That's why I left New York City. New York State was so liberal. I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I couldn't do it. So for me, 2008, I did wake up to certain things, but 2020, I say, is the new 2008 waking people up.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, I think it was bigger than 2008 personally. I mean, I was a little bit younger then. I was 20 in 2008, so I really didn't know. I was more focused on drinking beer and chasing women, but 2020 was a big one. And I know that there are people in my life that, sadly went through the whole thing and just went along with everything because they thought that their compliance would be, the way to do things, but it wasn't. And I think that they'll never apologize. I don't ever expect to get an apology from anybody, but I do think that they're realizing now that they were wrong and that, maybe something's wrong here. And I think that that's where we are right now. I think that that's kind of this point right now in history. Going back to what Jerry said, I really believe that every single part of this whole thing was very well designed with a reason, not just with numbers, not just with the financial things, but with human psychology and how everything works and the timing of everything. It's aligned with the presidential elections for a reason, because that's when everybody's focused on this kind of stuff. And so going back to, what we were talking about there is, with Satoshi, I think that the 21 million is just an arbitrary number, but at the same time, I think that it was for a reason. Like if you go back and actually look at Nikola Tesla and his 369, the 221, if you buy into all that stuff, which I do, like 369, the key of the universe, I think that there's ties there. And we were taught in school that Einstein was this legendary figure that invented everything that we have now. And they just hide everything that Tesla had. But this is what you have to keep in mind here. And this is what really caught my mind with Bitcoin is the Tesla, when he died, his findings went to John Trump, Trump's uncle. And you can look that up and you can go watch the Bitcoin conference 2024 when Trump talked about energy and Tesla and his uncle John from MIT. So Trump has all the knowledge about everything that's happening right now. That's why people think that Trump was just pandering to Bitcoiners through this whole thing. No, this thing's been in plans in place for a very long time. And both sides, good and evil, the Democrats or whatever you want to call them, like Democrat, Republican, I think it's good and bad people, good and evil. And both sides have been planning this whole thing for a very long time. And every time the bad or the evil does something, there's always a counter there. And I think that Bitcoin was the biggest counter. None of this, we couldn't be free. We couldn't be going along the lines where we're going right now without Bitcoin, without a decentralized open protocol like Bitcoin. None of this would be possible. We'd never go back to like a cash society. Everything's online now. Everything's digital. Without Bitcoin, we would have been totally screwed.
Yeah, amen. Hazel's back. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hazel will like this
Just
shirt.
made myself a burger. Yeah, so we're getting pretty close to 2 hours. I think we should sort of circle the field to get ready for a landing. And so what would each of you like to mention as far as like telling people maybe where they can go or how they can see your stuff or what you're going to do in the near future or anything you want to mention? Jerry, you want to start?
Yeah, I'm just on YouTube. You just type in Jerry Loves Freedom. That's pretty much it. I'm on Nostr. I can leave my MPub somewhere. I'm not really active on there yet. And I do have a Twitter page. Post put a little thoughts on there and stuff like that. But I'm just a guy. You don't expect me to be like Jor and Chris here. I just pick up a phone in between like my little shifts and I start talking crap. I get passionate about the things I love: God, family, country, Bitcoin, and hopefully we can do this thing every Friday. Maybe that'll be pretty cool. And so Jerry loves freedom.
There you go. And because I can, welcome Bitcoin 100K by morning. It's possible. I mean, where are we at now? We haven't actually looked at the price in a little bit. I mean, not much is happening. These are the 3-month candles. Oh yeah, let's go.
And one more thing I forgot to mention. I'm not really a YouTuber. I am on YouTube. These guys are YouTubers. I don't know if they want to admit that or not, but you can see their subscribers and what they do and how their formats are and stuff like that. They got Chris has got a really good format. George's got a really good format. They got a beginning of it. Like, as soon as they talk, you know what they're going to say every time they pick it up. You know what Chris says. You know what George says. Very structured. They got everything laid out. I'm more of just a feeling off the top of my head. Turn it on, turn it off when I'm done. So, yeah. But I would really appreciate you guys to support them as well, Chris and Jor, and just get along for the ride and just make sure that you're studying as much as you can with these Satoshis. Just study your butt off and buy up to the amount that you have in your brain is studying wise, and make sure you pass on that knowledge to people that you really love, and look at it as a almost like a life jacket. If you have somebody falling off a boat or something, just look at it like literally you have the life jacket to save them. You know what I mean? Or a lifeboat or something like that. Just do your best you can to become the best Bitcoiner you can, the best version of yourself, and help as many people along the way as you can.
That's beautiful. Yeah, Bailey, let's get 100K on your birthday. Let's do that. And Sharper asks, do any of you think once we hit 100K, we'll hit 200K in 2025? Barry?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's it. What do you guys think? George, before you give all your info, what do you think about this?
I don't love giving price predictions personally, but I do think that it's all going to happen much faster than we think. I think the January Trump strategic Bitcoin reserve, it's going to send Bitcoin to places that even us three can't even imagine. So would I be surprised if it got to 200? 0%. Would I be surprised if it got to 2 million next year? 0%. Would I be surprised if it stayed here? Yes.
Makes sense. Very well said. And here's your channel, 88 SATS Radio. How would you describe your content that you put out on your channel?
I don't know. Jerry must have me confused with somebody else. Very structured. I'm the furthest from structured. If you could see the other side of this camera right now, I don't have any notes. I don't have anything. I started with a little bit of notes just to keep myself, so I didn't run out of things to talk about. But I do a live show every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time on my channel. It's called the Daily Bitcoin Journey. And I usually just feed off the chat, whatever people want to talk about that day. I'm happy to talk about political stuff, security stuff, inheritance stuff. I think that there's just so many different things to explore within Bitcoin. And even going back to the kids, and if you're in Bitcoin right now, you're going to have a significant amount of wealth in the future. And the one thing that nobody really talks about in Bitcoin is the inheritance stuff. And nobody talks about, if something were to happen to you tomorrow, what would happen to your Bitcoin? Not a lot of people think about this. They're more focused on the price and everything happening. But the cool thing about Bitcoin is it's programmable. So it's open, it's decentralized, but it's also programmable, where you can say, if you don't want your kids to get all your Bitcoin when you die, you can set it so like in 2050, you get unlocked 100,000 sats every year for that. So something that you can do now that was never available without like a lawyer and an estate planner and all that kind of stuff, you can kind of set up on your own now, which is incredible. But it's way further down the road than I think most people are ready for right now. But so do you want me to kind of close things out here, Chris? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, let's do that. Yep.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd be happy to, anytime you guys want to jump on here, if you want to do it every Friday. I think that between all three of our communities, I think we'd have enough people showing up here every Friday. I mean, usually on Fridays, I eat lunch and then I try to have everything done by Friday so I can just kind of take it easy watch some YouTube shows, have a beer if I want to. So I'd be more than happy to hang out with you guys every Friday, or if you guys are up for that. But Chris, I do have an offer for you. This is going to be completely out of left field for you.
Okay.
So I don't know what song it is, what the title is. One of your songs that you just recently made, though.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to release this. I want to be like an ambassador of like whether it's 2% split, 5% split, some sort of split. I want to play it at the end of every one of my shows. I want to pump it on Nostr, pump it on Twitter. I want it to be a well-known song, because it is. It's an amazing song. And so if you're up for that, we can have like a private conversation in terms of the ambassador there. But I want some of it to go to the Rescue Dog Fund as well. I really want to blow that thing up. I think it has a lot of potential, and I think that we can do it if we put our minds to it.
Absolutely. Let's do it. I would love to. I'm wondering which one.
The horses and the mules one. I think there's two with that, and I have a hard time differentiating them myself. But one of the two I absolutely love, and I think that if we get it in front of the right person at the right time, and if we just keep persistently with it, I think it could be a big song in the Bitcoin community. And I want to help you with that.
Yeah. All right. So let's play at least. What should I play some of it now? So you can verify it. Let's do it.
Fractal Bitcoin,
this one.
shining bright.
Is the one?
Buries wisdom every night. He says, yeah, oh yeah, now's the time. Bitcoin value on the climb. All-time high, the place to be. Bitcoin price discovery.
Hype in the chat. Let's go.
Always fun to buy the top. The moon is our next stop. You're gonna need a couple horses or a couple mules. Bitcoin up in the sky so high. Pump it up, smoke the fools. All-time high, the buzz is real. Price discovery that you can feel.
Unreal.
Prosperity is within our sight. Fractal Bitcoin
I
lights
love
up at night.
the mules and the
You're
horses.
gonna need a couple horses or a couple mules. Bitcoin up in the sky so high. Pump it up, smoke the fools.
So good.
All-time high, the buzz
Right?
is real.
Chris, I think you need two things. I think you need to. What's the title of that one?
Fractal Bitcoin lights up the night.
Like, you have a title for it?
I do. I just literally named them all today. Let me just look. Well, it says right here, pump it up, smoke the fools. So
I
it could
didn't
just
even
be
know
pump
it
it
said
up.
Smoke the Fools. That's even better.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't want to stop it, but I want to.
No, you're good. Keep it playing.
Okay. No, but I wanted to turn it down so we could talk over it. Yeah, either pump it up or pump it up, smoke the fools. But I think pump it up is probably shorter and more memorable, but it's only like one little line in the song, so I don't. Anyway, pump it up. Let's call it pump it up.
I like Smoke the Fools too.
Okay, I
Or-
like it too, for sure.
Or a couple mules. I think that might be catchy too. That's the part that got me. I was like, oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
Great.
we'll talk about it. But yes, yeah.
I want to know in the chat, if you guys want us to do this show, do you want it to be us three, or do you want somebody else to be involved, or just us three? Because I think me and Joe are talking enough just to be us three, bro. Let me know. Or let
I'm
us
happy
know.
with any of that. I mean, us three would be fine. 3 people's good. The golf show that we do every week is 3 people. It works very well. There's nobody talking over each other. But the other thing I wanted to say in there, Chris, is you kind of have to. The one thing that I want to add before we take it, we take it to the mainstream, is get some Barry in there. I know you've been doing that like kind of on your own in between when you're playing it. But if you could get Barry's voice in there somehow to like spruce it up a little bit, I think that would take it to the next level.
Yes, I could do that. Absolutely. And you 3, maybe a visitor. That's what I was going to say. Have a 4th
Yeah,
that changes. Yep.
we got to come up with a name, guys.
Let's think about it. Let's take our time. Anyone in the chat? If you have a name.
3. It's the power of threes. 369. 3 is the way to go. But no, that's what my offer was to you, Chris. I want to. I think we can make that song into something if we put our minds to it and we do it together. I think that we can do it. So that's one part. But the other thing I would say is just for the Bitcoiners out there, regardless of kind of where you are in your journey right now. I don't know why this is blurry, but just focus on 2 things. Just understand how valuable your Bitcoin is. Understand how valuable each sat you have is. And do everything that you can. Take this time. You know, it could go to 100. It could go to 200. Don't worry too much about that. Focus your time and energy on protecting that Bitcoin, securing it properly, because that's the only thing that's going to matter in 20 years from now, whether or not you have that Bitcoin. So do everything you can. Don't take any shortcuts with it, and invest the time and the money into making sure that whatever Bitcoin you have in 20 years from now. And so the other part, though, is I think a lot of Bitcoiners really underestimate their knowledge inside their brain. A lot of Bitcoiners spend 5, 6, 7 hours a day listening to different podcasters. And they think that they're kind of just doing it to gain conviction. They like hearing people who they can relate to, but don't underestimate the knowledge that you have around Bitcoin, because you have to keep in mind here that there's about 10 companies right now in the public realm who have Bitcoin. And there's 300 million companies on earth who are all going to have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And every single one of those companies is going to need help buying it, storing it, and managing the Bitcoin. So the knowledge that you have right now is invaluable. Whether you want to be working for a company, whether you want to be doing yourself, consulting for companies, for people, do not underestimate the value that you have, the knowledge that you have, because even though it hasn't come into that time yet, the timing isn't right. When it comes, you're going to be more than ready for that. So that's what I'd say to people.
That's a great point. Like, because again, we're not thinking of that world in 5 or 8 years or 10 years. And like, if you're watching this right now, and like you said, you have some Bitcoin knowledge, but you don't think you have a lot. You do compared to the normal person. So for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll think of a name. We got some coming in. Power of 3, power of 4. Yeah, we'll give it a minute. We got to think. When one of us is going to think of the name is like when you're out walking, or you're just doing something outside, or you're waking up in the morning and it's going to be like, bam.
Jor is my freaking. I watch his show. I swear to God, I can finish this dude's sentences, man. He has no idea. When I'm watching him, when he's talking, it's like, oh my God, this dude's like my doppelganger, man.
By the way, the Barry that you're hearing is not Barry White. It's a real person, Barry. It's not Barry White. Everyone thinks it is, but it's not. It's just a dude the maintenance guy in my building from 2012 to 2015.
That's my favorite part about the song and the whole story there is that's a real guy.
Oh, okay.
The 3 mules.
I love the 3 mules. That's unbelievable.
That's number 1 right now. Right now, that's
yeah, that's a winner for sure right now.
especially with the song, man. Oh my God. Because I work like a mule, dude. I do. You know what I mean? You guys
right,
do.
Well, let's wrap it up. So this has been amazing. Thank you, everyone. First of all, thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jor. This is wow. This is it's so amazing how things are coming together. I don't know what it is, dude. Since Trump's win, and I'm talking in life in general, things are coming together and working out and lining up. It's something's happening, man.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be something special right here. I really think this.
I think we just need to get rid of the mentality that we've been stomped down for so long that we're just used to when things are good, we're expecting, a punch to come out of nowhere and hit us in the face. That's not how life should be. That's the fiat world. That's not how it's supposed to be. And it's not going to be like that. So we need to change our mentality from being stomped down, from being trampled on to losers to we're winners here. If you're watching the show right now, just be prepared to be extremely wealthy, get used to winning, and just have that mentality. Don't ever second guess it. Don't second guess yourself. Just understand where we're going And if you're here right now, you're going to be part of this whole thing, and just get used to it.
Yes, beautifully said. We got to stay humble as well and grateful. Gratitude
Yes.
is a must. And so, well, this is great. So look, all right, we're
Thanks, Chris.
I guess
This
we're
is
on
awesome.
for next week, the same day, same time. We'll talk in the background. We'll figure out a name and we'll do what we'll. It's great. Let's go. Let's go. It feels good. It feels like it's flowing and natural, and that's great. So thank you guys. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to go subscribe to Jerry's channel and Jor's channel. The links are below. And hopefully we'll get 100K soon.
It'll come.
We'll see.
It's imminent.
Imminent. All right. See you, everybody. Say goodbye in the chat. Winners. Oh, yeah. Bailey. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Sharper. Everybody. All right.